Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. I'm Milton. I'm here with some of the other organizers. I've got Brian, Courtney, and Britton. I think Toby's out today. But again, welcome. Do we have any first-time visitors with us today? Welcome to 1 Million Cups, and I guess the rest of you are our veterans here every week? Yeah? All right. Well, listen, before we get started, what 1 Million Cups is, it's an entrepreneurship program designed by the Kauffman Foundation. Each week we have two presenters come, they talk for 6 minutes, they tell us about their entrepreneurial journey, and then we open it up to the panelists and then to the audience for about 20 to 25 minutes of Q&A. With that said, I'd like for our panelists to just kind of stand up and introduce yourselves, tell us who you are, a little bit real quick about what you do.
Thank you. My name's Todd Carmichael. I've been coming to 1 Million Cups for about 2 years now. My background's in technology. I've spent a lot of time with innovation in technology, and one of the areas that I'm most interested in is the applications and the usage. I've recently moved into investment advising and helping small businesses with the investment side of what they're doing as they worry about building their business.
Good morning. My name is Keith Baird. I've been coming to 1 Million Cups for about 7 months now. I'm actually with a local company. We do product design, product development, product engineering, contract manufacturing. So really what I'm here to do, the reason that I'm here is to introduce our services into this market space to help clients take their product to the next level.
Thank you. Before we bring up our first presenter, just a quick shout out. We've got the Northeast Kansas Entrepreneurship Academy class here visiting. Where are you at? Welcome. All right, so our first presenter that we're going to bring up today from Ovatemp is Anna Mayer. Ovatemp is a fertility management platform that helps women take control of their fertility throughout their entire reproductive life cycle. Let's welcome Anna to the stage.
Hi everyone, it's great to be here. Ovatemp is the only women's health platform that helps women manage their reproductive health throughout their entire lives, from puberty to menopause. I suffered through infertility. After years of trying to get pregnant and having gone through miscarriage, I had no clear path to achieve my dream of becoming a mother. I felt defeated and full of guilt, and I am not alone. There are 50 million couples all over the world that struggle with infertility every year. In the US alone, 12% of women have trouble getting pregnant. And then there are the ones that haven't been diagnosed with infertility and want to get pregnant, but have no idea where to start. From doing headstands after intercourse, using incomplete tracking apps, spending hundreds of dollars every month on ovulation tests, to invasive and very expensive hormonal treatments, women are willing to do everything and anything with very poor results. We are here to change that. Ovatemp is the only solution that combines a smart Bluetooth thermometer, in-app data-driven personalized advice, and one-on-one coaching. We provide a simple and easy way for women to track and get a clear picture of their reproductive health and use that information to get pregnant up to 6 times faster. With Ovatemp, it's not what works, it's what works for you. The most important part that women have to track is basal body temperature. With our Ondo thermometer, smart Bluetooth thermometer, we make tracking those temperatures super easy. You just swipe open the app, place a thermometer under your tongue, press a button, and Ondo automatically logs daily temperatures to our tracking app. The more information we get, the more precise we can be. So our app reminds women to track the rest of their fertility signs and symptoms. It then identifies ovulation and notifies the users for them to track intercourse appropriately. Diet, exercise, lifestyle, and stress levels can all impact fertility. We provide data-driven, personalized advice tailored for each woman's specific needs, as well as a connection to a network of experts that can help with a more in-depth plan to optimize their fertile health. Our app permits couples to act as a team and notifies them of how and when they can offer support to each other. I guess that part is no problem for guys, but there's other parts too. We are first monetizing through the sale of our smart Bluetooth thermometer, Ondo, and through one-on-one coaching, and later on with strategic product partnerships. And the best part of it is that our solution actually works. It worked for me, twice, obviously, right? Our team is comprised of myself, a CEO, Daniel, my partner in crime and COO, and David, our traction number one. We have a wonderful board of medical advisors who have been key in helping us achieve our mission, and we are just getting started. Our platform can help women of all ages manage their reproductive health. We can help teenagers identify hormonal imbalances early on and prevent serious conditions later in life, like infertility, diabetes, and heart disease. We help women prevent pregnancy naturally without having to use hormonal contraception and wreaking havoc in their bodies. Actually, 63.7% of women on the pill quit because of the horrible side effects. We help them transition from trying to avoid pregnancy naturally to achieving pregnancy when they're planning a family. And finally, we help them transition to menopause, dealing with the hormonal changes that they go through. We are changing the way 1.6 billion women take care of their reproductive health all around the world. We are happy to announce that we are now shipping our thermometers, and this is just one example of the great response we've gotten from our users. We've really addressed a major pain point, and they're happy with their thermometers. So please visit ovatemp.com, download our app for free, order a thermometer, and listen to your body. And if you would like to help us achieve our mission, we'd love to talk to you. Thank you.
Awesome idea. Keith and I were just talking before. We're probably not the most qualified, but very interested. Okay. I think what I'd like to dive into first. I understand the scope of who you're looking for. I wondered about the target audience. I wondered about who you were involving. Can you give me a little bit of idea on how it's priced and how we're going to continue to use it ongoing?
Sure. So we started, our main focus right now is women who want to get pregnant because they're the most engaged and they're willing to, it's a very different thing from spending thousands of dollars for an IVF treatment and spending $100 for a thermometer in a program. So we're starting there. But what we really want to do is help them throughout the whole reproductive life cycle. So once we target that market from trying to conceive, we can expand to those women who actually conceived and then want to prevent pregnancy, want to plan their families, and then those women who are actually quitting hormonal contraception, and go from there. Our thermometer right now, we launched our pre-sale back in October. We started at $75. We're holding that price, a special price, for a little bit longer, so it's still $75. Retail, it'll be $95.
Ongoing? Are there additional charges?
Yes, so the in-app coaching is right now for free. You answer a questionnaire, you get a profile. According to that profile, you get advice for your specific body type, hormonal issues, etc. But we are also putting together a community of health coaches, hormonal health experts, acupuncturists. Everyone is fertility focused. And those would be coaching sessions through the app, more of a one-on-one. Those would be an additional fee.
So the question that I have regarding your product is, how do you market this? Is it magazines? Is it trade shows?
Okay, so right now we're focusing on straight to consumer, and we're doing it online. We're leveraging the existing online communities. The fertility community online is a very, very engaged one, tight one, and so we're starting there. We're selling through our website and through Amazon.com. And then we've expanded also, we've talked to several OB practices, seeing if it's an option for them to be a distribution channel, as well as retail. We've explored possibilities with CVS, pharmacy, Walgreens, Target. So we're still figuring out the best distribution channels, but for now it's straight to consumer.
So with regards to your expert panel, how do you find them? How do you retain them? How do you grow that group?
Yes. So we started with our medical advisors because they have a great network of experts. And then from there, we branched out. We've been creating a relationship with a lot of health experts, fertility experts throughout the years, throughout our development. We've been getting their feedback and advice. So we go from there, and now we're building a program to have them join us either as advisors, coaches for like a referral program, or creating content, educational content for the app that we will provide through the app.
Thank you. We also want to open it up to the audience for questions. We've got a question here in the middle.
So I noticed you were aiming for women 15 to 45, but you're serving women who are looking at menopause. That seems a little early. I know perimenopause comes on around that time, but I'm wondering if you're thinking of expanding your age range a little bit more, and also talk about more how you might serve those women in menopause.
Yes. So currently we have customers that are using it for transitioning into menopause. We've had conversations with them back and forth. We've asked them, how is this helping them? So they are excited about it. It improves the conversation with the doctor. It actually makes it easier to understand the treatments, the hormonal replacement treatments that they're going through, and track if they're having good results with them. So we do have customers right now that are using it for menopause. We do want to expand the age range. Of course, we took 15 from 45 because it's the average, and it's what the studies actually provide. So it's an average. But of course, women, young girls get their periods way before 15, like 13. Nowadays, with all the hormonal things going on in diets, they're getting their periods at 12, 11. So yes, we're trying to figure out a way to expand that age range, but we know that it's been used right now from both spectrums.
Question in the front.
Oh,
Hi, I love your product and idea. Wonderful. My question was, you addressed even teens for monitoring, and you mentioned diabetes and heart problems.
Heart disease. So how
does that monitor that, and does that thermometer only take temperature, or does it do other readings?
Okay, so what I mentioned was if girls identify hormonal imbalances early on, they can address them early on and not leave them till the end, where they can represent bigger problems like heart disease, diabetes. Especially girls with polycystic ovaries, it's a very common thing right now because of lifestyle. And polycystic ovaries, when not treated appropriately, can end up in diabetes and heart disease. And the thermometer right now is only a basal body temperature thermometer. We are planning on the next generation maybe measuring some other stuff like hormonal surges through saliva or urine.
Got a question in the back to your left.
I noticed the TechStars t-shirt, so I'm assuming, did you go through that program? Can you talk about that experience and any other resources that you've used in Kansas City?
Sure. So first of all, we loved Kansas. We were pleasantly surprised. We have never been here. We are originally Boston-based, so the first thing we noticed was like, oh my God, everyone's so nice. Everyone smiles. And yes, we just went through the TechStars program. It was an amazing experience. We knew from the beginning that our main goal was to get the mentorship and the guidance that we were lacking, and it was amazing. We really got a great response, both from mentors and the managing directors and the whole TechStars family overall. It's a very, how do you say this? Like,
Welcoming?
yes, thank you. It's a very welcoming environment, and you really feel free to actually ask and get the advice and just ask for help, which I think every young entrepreneur should do.
And the community in general has been fantastic as well. We've been so very well received, and we've received a ton of support from everyone here in Kansas City.
Sorry about all the traffic here in Kansas City that you have to deal with compared to Boston. I hope you're getting used to that.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Tell us about manufacturing the thermometer and how long that took to come up with and to find a supplier to make it. Where is it coming from? And, do you have inventory? Currently, it sounds like you do. So kind of give us an overview of that process, please.
Sure, definitely. So we initially started, as any other hardware company, just fast prototyping and getting user feedback. But then eventually we actually were lucky that we worked with a team of people who worked in the first CMOS digital cameras. So they had a ton of experience in sourcing OEMs, original equipment manufacturers from China. And so that's how we set up. We leveraged their existing relationships, and it was actually a very simple, easy process for us. We went through a list and requirements they needed to have, and then just based upon the relationship that these guys had with them, we just selected one, and we're actually building everything in one house, under one house. So,
This is in China.
In China, yeah, sorry.
And we do have inventory right now. Our first batch was 1,000 thermometers, and we started pre-sale. So it's not 1,000 now, but we still have inventory available.
Do you have to do any sort of compliance testing on the plastic or anything like that?
We did before. We went through the whole 510K FDA approval process. This was a year ago. We were a classified device, and a month after we applied, we submitted our final application, our device got declassified. So it no longer needs FDA approval, but we went through the testing, which was a good thing. We can now rest assured, like, our thermometer is biocompatible. Materials are all.
Question in the center.
Hello again. Congratulations on the obvious success of your product.
Thank you.
My question is, have you done or do you plan to do any clinical trials?
So we have a pilot program going on. It's not exactly a clinical trial because it's in an acupuncture fertility-focused clinic. It's actually the clinic founded by one of our medical advisors. She has a ton of expertise helping women get pregnant, whether naturally or helping them improve their odds when they're going through assisted reproductive technologies. We're talking with 2 major hospitals right now to put together some pilot programs, and once we have that, maybe expand to clinical trials.
Yeah, I've got one other question from the IT geek in me. Has to do with data protection and the ownership of the data. Who actually owns the data? Do you guys own it? Does the client own it? And then also, how is it protected?
So we're using actually 128-bit encryption, and everything is SSL, and actually the users own the data. It's self-reported, they can get access to it. We, at the moment, don't do any analysis on it, only to the fact just to report fertility, and it's the user's data, yeah.
Question in the center. Hi, really great idea. I have a quick question. Who do you see as your main competitors, and what are your plans in fighting or combating them?
So our main competitors, we are all aware that there's a lot of tracking apps. We have the advantage that we have the hardware. We focused on the major migraine point and are fixing that. So there's another tracking app that does have the hardware, but what our main differentiation is right now is the fact that it's a personalized tracking app. So it's not just about the tracking, it's about improving your fertile health through a fertility program tailored specifically for you.
question for you here on your left. So can you tell us a little bit about maybe what's the next step for Overtemp now?
Oh my God, there's so much. Well, the next step for us now is growing our user base, creating that brand loyalty that we need to create for them to use it throughout their whole reproductive life cycle. So we are focusing on that. And later on, we really, well, not later on, but just short term, putting together the one-on-one coaching through the app. We do have it right now. We do have the referrals, but it's not through the app, so we want to incorporate that.
I have a question. So how did you get to this point? Like, what's your entrepreneurial journey? What made you decide to start Overtemp?
Oh my God. It was a long journey. It went hand in hand with my own fertility journey. So it kind of intertwined and it just gave great results, and now we want to share it. We started out, I used the method as birth control for 3 years successfully, so it works, it's 99% effective. And when I started tracking my cycles, I realized I had some issues with my health. And that's where I had the chance to actually do the research and contact the medical experts. And one day I was throwing a fit because I did not want to input my temperatures manually. My tracking app at that point in time was horrible. And so I was throwing a fit, and I told Daniel, like, I wish there was a thermometer that would sync with my phone. And he was doing his MBA at the time, and he was like, yes, let's do that. Let's do that thermometer. I was like, yeah, whatever. And he came back that day. He was like, I talked to my professor. This is going to be great. We're going to do it. And so that's how it all came to life. And then it kind of evolved when I started having trouble getting pregnant. And so we realized that there was no complete solution out there. There was a bunch of stuff, a bunch of information that can sometimes be more frustrating and counterproductive. And that's how we kind of embarked on this mission.
Question here on your left then. So how did you come to determine the actual product and what it should look like and how it should work? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, so I think the greatest advantage we had for that was that I was a user. I was trying to fix a problem for myself. I understood what was out there, and I understood what they were lacking. So I think that was a great point to start from. And then, of course, I had the technical side, and he was my husband, so that was great because it kind of lets you realize, like, okay, this can be done, this may be done, but later on, and kind of find a right path. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known where to start. So we kind of had a great team, a great balance between us. And then we started with building our brand, creating content, creating a relationship with our potential users. I think that's a very important thing, especially in this market, because it's a very private matter, intimate matter. And so we needed to first have that and get their feedback and see what was going on.
And you also have the hardware, which is the thermometer, and now you have the app. So did you develop them both at the same time, or did you have a thermometer at first?
No, it was at the same time. We started, the idea was first the hardware. That was how it came to life. But then we realized, well, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this right, and we need an app that actually has all the features that you believe others are lacking. Yeah, so it was hand in hand.
So it was more part of building the entire experience since it starts with the hardware, and then it continues all throughout the app and the entire experience of getting pregnant. Yeah.
I had one other question. I hope I didn't miss this, but if you can just clarify it. How long does it take to create the profile and get confidence in the accuracy of the profile?
So the method that we base our product on is called the Fertility Awareness Method. And when you're coached to practice it, whether it's going to be through the app or pen and paper, you're told to track your cycles for 3 months to kind of get to know yourself very well. We're trying, through our algorithms, we're trying to reduce that time. So officially, it would be 3 months because that's what's recommended when you're practicing the Fertility Awareness Method. But we've realized and we found a way to kind of detect patterns in a woman's cycle, 2 months of tracking. Yeah, the profile is very, very simple, and the questionnaire that they have to answer to get their own personal coaching program is very basic questions. There's nothing you need blood work or anything. It's just like, have you been diagnosed with a metabolic disorder? Do you feel tired in the afternoon? So it's pretty basic questions.
Any thoughts of expanding the product into any other areas?
Yes, so we've got some good feedback on that. There's a lot of interest from women who actually finally get pregnant, and then they want to keep using the thermometer for like during their pregnancy for something else, or after their baby's born and they're breastfeeding, they don't really need birth control. We're looking into a way to maybe use it for the rest of the family. It's an oral thermometer. You can track a baby's temperatures, and especially when they get their shots, or you have to keep an eye on temperatures when they're really young.
Can you go a little bit back a little bit to your business model and dig in a little deeper to your strategic partnership and who those partners might be and what you foresee those partnerships looking like?
Sure. So right now our hook, we're monetizing through the thermometer, and then as I mentioned before, the fees for the one-on-one coaching. But in the future, we really think that there's a very nice possibility of having strategic partnerships because we're gathering so much data from such a broad spectrum of ages. So it's not only, oh, this is an 18-year-old girl and she's tracking her periods and she has, I don't know, long cycles. The data we're getting is way more detailed. So this is an 18-year-old girl. She has a hormonal imbalance. I don't know, she has endometriosis. She's looking to avoid pregnancy. So we get a very nice profile of each user, and we can use that to target them and offer them products that will help them through their journey.
Question on your left.
So you haven't mentioned anything about funding. Are you self-funded? Do you have investors? Are you seeking investors? And if you would get into a CVS, would you be able? How would you be able to fill that demand?
So we have had funding before. We went through a friends and family round, and then we got angel investors. So as every other startup, we have a certain runway, but we of course have to look to the future and see if we're. And regarding the retail, of course, that's something we need to explore. We do have a way of creating that inventory that would be needed.
Okay, so our 1 Million Cups patented final question. What can we as a community do to help you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I would love, help us spread the word. If you know someone that can use our app, that would benefit from it, that would be curious about it, even if they're not sexually active, they're not looking to have a baby or avoid pregnancy, but just improve fertile health and just keep track of their health. So please share it. We'd love that. And it's been so amazing already with the Kansas City community. I feel like I couldn't ask for more, because seriously, we've been helped a lot. But of course, if you have any suggestions on how you can help, I'd love to talk.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for presenting today.
Thank you.
Okay, so a couple of quick announcements. The first is at the Sprint Accelerator today, they are hosting Co-working Wednesdays. So if you need a new place to work or just kind of want a change of scenery, head over there. I know that they would love to see you. Also on the 25th at the ECJC, they're having a content marketing strategies, I guess it's just a program, but Ryan O'Connell, he is awesome. If you haven't heard him speak, I would suggest going and seeing him. Also, who in here has heard of Startland News? Anybody? Well, that's pretty good. If you haven't signed up for their newsletters, please go to Startland News and sign up. We'll put some more information. Hopefully Abby's in here and she can tweet where you would find them. But also send them your entrepreneurial stories. If you have anything that's going on in the community, send it their way. Okay, so we are ready for our second presenter. I would like to welcome Glenna Cook of Notables.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Notables, the home of the animal notes that make learning music fun. What are they? They're fun little caricatures that take the front face of the standard note. Now, we all have faces on the front of our heads, but nothing on the back. Neither does an animal. The animal notes have a face on the front of the note, but the back is the standard note. The really, really great part of this is it allows children as young as 3 to actually start playing music. Little Carrie here had been out of music for a year. She had just had her 3rd birthday. She'd played around before she was even 2, and she came back and didn't miss a note. Now that's retention. Children are our most important and vital resource of this great nation. What we must do is to give them the finest education, the finest background, the finest foot forward, because out of them will come tomorrow's leaders, tomorrow's startups, tomorrow's success. It is a proven fact, and I've done a lot of research in this field, that piano particularly, the keyboard, but music in general, builds your mind more than anything else. Think about it a minute. If you're right-handed, how much do you use the fingers on the left hand? If you're left-handed, how much do you use these? A keyboard requires you to use both. Not only that, it requires you to put them together. What a brain exercise. But come on, look at that. How many of you have started piano and said, this is too hard and quit? A lot of us have. In fact, I struggled for 7 years until the teacher got me straightened out. And when I went off to college, believe me, I wasn't going to go teach piano. I could not figure out how I'd teach anybody what I couldn't learn. But, you know, there was a power bigger that said I was going to do piano teaching. And when I was asked by a friend to teach her 8-year-old, who was a genius, how to teach piano, I learned more than she did that year because everything was what, why, and how. So when somebody else asked me, it was pretty easy. But before I knew it, I was losing kids. I didn't want to lose them. I wanted them to learn to play piano. And I kept asking why, how. Then I got to looking at the music notes and that dog up there sure looks like, or that D sure looks like a dog. You know, he could be digging out from under. Did I turn me off? He could be just digging out from under that treble clef fence. No problem. That high G. Maybe he could be a giraffe up there taking care of the children notes up above. And you know what? It worked. I was thrilled to death. The kids started learning. Whoops, it's not going on. What did I do? I did something when I dropped the mic. I don't know what. I'm sorry. How can we do this? I got a little boy who had multiple learning disabilities, and the doctors wanted him in music. And I said yes. The deers and things on the notes and the little stories didn't help him. So I started drawing these for him. the child went crazy. His mom said all he did was play at home. In 8 months, his father was transferred, and I was asked to go and file a folder of what had happened for his next teacher. All I got was compliments. How did you get this child to start learning better? He's doing better than he's ever done. So I took those to Kinko, and I printed them off like crazy and went to work. Every one of my kids loved them. But then one of my parents said, we need books. At this time, Stas, who is the programmer of our organization, was an exchange student with us. And he says, I'll help you. And he did. He was a tech, and he even programmed a program I wrote the timing book with. This is what the first book looked like. This is it today. The sheet of music and how it's changed. The little keyboard that goes behind the keys. This helps the kids not wash their hands. And here it is today. We have flashcards so that the children can immediately start learning from the very first lesson that the animal has a backside of the head, and that's going to end up being their standard note. And right now, this is the list of teaching materials we have, and they are at the back of the room. Now, come on. Music teachers get stuck in what they're doing. So it was hard to get this out to enough kids. I went to Stas and I said, let's do an app. He says, oh, no, we don't. He says, those are too much work. But in December of 2013, he called me and he says, guess what I'm doing? He was building our app. And since then, we've built the app. It's back there for you to look at. And it amazes me. My dream is to get this out to every elementary school in America so kindergarten, first and second and third grade children can read music, and eventually we'll have timing on there. I hope you'll enjoy playing with it. In closing, I want to say one thing to you. In 2014, I was really discouraged. I knew I had something, not because I intended to build a business, but I wanted my children to learn. I wanted to have them succeed. I wanted to have them love music. I was truly drinking out of a half a cup of coffee. Then, a good friend who's my entrepreneur, who is one of my piano fathers and grandfathers, and is always willing to listen to me, said, Glenna, there's a new thing starting in Little Rock, and I think you really ought to go. Well, normally when he brought things up to me, I said no, because I was scared. He said, this one I think you really ought to consider. So I said, okay. He said, I'll pick you up Wednesday. Well, I went to Little Rock, 1 Million Cups. 3 weeks later, I had the privilege of putting our little beginning app on for free. It spiked at over 1,000 downloads in one day. And then I presented, and I received a whole new cup. A cup full of support, a cup full of well wishes, a cup full of, I want you to succeed, how can I help you? It was a lot easier to drink out of. And if any of you are here for the first time, let me assure you, there's no other cup. Thank you.
Great job. Let's start with our panel.
Well, thank you very much. I have to be honest with you. When you and I were talking a little bit earlier, I had a flashback to the FAO Schwartz and Tom Hanks in Big stepping on the piano keys. And so I just thought it was interesting. You've taken something that you mentioned to us has been around a long time, and you've brought it into a format that's much more attractive to the young people of this age. And I think that's very commendable for what you've done. I did have a question about the cost. You mentioned a little bit about it, but can you go into a little bit more about how the cost is built in and what it costs parents or teachers to use this?
The books themselves cost $11.99. There are 2 flashcards. One is $14.99 for a larger set. The other is $5.99 for the smaller set. The app itself is free. There are a couple of in-app purchases. One is $1.99, but it's a larger set of books, and then there's a smaller set songs, and then there's a 99-cent set. Most of the time right now we just print. We get the order, we open the app or our programs at home, print it, bind it ourselves, and ship it out. And right now, most of what we charge covers that cost, because the cost of printing materials is evened out by multiple orders. But that's our cost range right now.
The question that I have, you had made a comment, by the way, very good presentation. I love the product idea. You had said that you want to get your product into every school. And I think that's a wonderful, wonderful plan. The curious thing about that is everything I read, and my kids are grown, so I don't know, but you keep reading about how budgets are strapped, how they're continually trimming jobs or teaching positions. One of the targets that you read about all the time is music, that it's being taken out of the schools. So what's your plan to get around that or to work with that?
That's fun. I'll turn it back to him in just a minute, because that's one of the reasons I wanted an app. On this app is a little keyboard. You can actually teach fingering on this keyboard. Right now it's 9 keys. It'll always be 9 keys. Eventually it will slide so that the whole grand staff can be played. Where else in the world, if you've already got tablets in your school, are you going to get a keyboard that doesn't always have to be repaired, can go into any classroom, can be worked with any teacher for nothing?
And
if you want more songs than the rest of it, it'll cost you.
Right, and to add to what she's saying, it works with existing infrastructure. We have this app. A lot of schools, where they're trying to add tablet technologies. I mean, my kids' schools have a whole lab full of iPads. So it's easy to kind of work around that. And the other nice thing to add to that is the teaching materials are somewhat in the app, and we're continuing to add those materials to the app so that, all you need is an iPad. And the materials will help those people who have not taught before to help teach music. So even if they don't have a dedicated music program, they can at least get the exposure, which is important.
And one other thing on that, the app will switch. There's a set of animal notes that are friendly and colorful that go with the app, but if you're using the books to teach, you can switch to the animals that are in the book. They're just black and white. So it's convenient if a teacher is a keyboard teacher and is using this in an actual keyboard situation in their classroom, they can use the books and the app.
Question to your right here. Can you tell us a little bit more about like the in-app purchases? I heard something about flashcards, but are you buying flashcards, books, or songs? What is it you're purchasing?
The in-app, the way the app works is it comes with a preset set of songs that you can play. The in-app purchases give you additional songs that you can play within the app. And we are looking at expanding the number of packs that are available um, in that app. But those in-app purchases give you additional songs that you can use.
Right now, the additional that we're working on, and it is in beta stage, but you can see it back there, is I want every child to be able to read in standard notes. So there is the flashcard where they will work with learning both sides, the animal, the standard note. Then they get tested. If you don't pass the test, the 4-hour comes up and says, go back and do it again.
Question in the center.
Thank you, guys. This is just fantastic. Very personal to me. My nephew just turned 9, and I've been teaching him piano. Me and my brother have been teaching him piano for the last several years. And one of the things that we found that gets him the most interested is when he recognizes the song that he's getting ready to play. Say it's a theme song to a show that he's watching or something that he's seen in a movie, some theme that he's heard. The Star Wars theme, very simplified. But with your music packs, have you thought about expanding that into, recognizable music for children for their TV shows that they could go, oh, I want to know how to play this song. I can play the Dora theme.
We have the trick there is, of course, licensing. You got to pay for the license and to actually use the music, but we have started looking into that.
I'll be so excited when I can. I can hardly wait to get Star Wars on there, believe me. The other one you can't get is Happy Birthday, because somebody was real smart back then, though it was written in the 1800s. When that happened, he went in and bought it from the family, and he's made millions off of it. But I can't put Happy Birthday on the books, or I can't put it on the app until we can afford to do so.
Question in the center.
Hi, maybe I missed part of this, but with the books and materials that are printed and you sell, my guess is that pretty much all your profits blown away by the reproduction costs. What are you doing in just getting that all electronically available so that somebody can download that and pay for it online?
That is one option that we're looking at. We're actually looking at two options. One is an electronic PDF copy that you were talking about. The other is doing a print on, for those who want the printed materials, going to a print-on-demand model and adjusting prices accordingly based on that. We are currently investigating that option with Amazon now and just going ahead and increasing distribution so that we're not doing the printing, but when the orders come in, it hits the Amazon print on demand and it gets shipped out from Amazon.
Got a question to your left on the side, back here to the side.
So how much fun this is. I'm enjoying your presentation, and walk me through the customer experience, the customer onboarding process. So here I am I'm 42 years old. I never liked music as a kid, never learned music as a kid, ran away from music. And now as an adult, I wish I understood it more. And as a parent with an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old, I'm starting to wonder, well, how do I introduce music into their lives so that they don't end up in the same situation that I'm at? How does a parent and a child work together in that instance to use your innovations?
All of the books are written so that anybody can teach them. I had that very much in mind when we did it. And I am also in the process of writing a book. I'm going to call it Training with the Animals, because I want to give some of the word clues that I use to help children. Your children are a wonderful age. You would be amazed with the books. I've had 2 or 3 children at 12 that went through the books in less than a year, and within 18 months were playing fair release. Because they just, it takes the fear away from it. It takes the, I don't want to do this away from it. And it's amazing to me. I'll be really honest with you. It was done because I love music and I love kids, not because of, out after anything except that. But it amazes me what it does. And I did it for the younger children, but the older kids love it.
Got a question in the back in the middle.
So first of all, fantastic idea. I love it. Second, how did you come up with animals for the notes? So I noticed that F is fish, and Chi is Giselle, C is a cat, and D is a dog. But what about A, B, and yeah, A, B? And also, like, why did you?
If you notice, there's a fish and there's a frog. They both start with F. But the thing I found with young children, 6, 7, it was fine. Most of your music starts up here and you have one but as soon as you get the second one, which one's which? Well, if you're working with children that are under 5, you've got to make a difference. So these are the aquatic animals. They live at the bottom of the 3-note hill. And they both start with the letter F. And I stress this, they start with the letter F. Okay, we have grass-eating animals that eat the grass around the water that the aquatic animals live in. And of course, the ape family lives in the trees, and no decent bear is going to sleep anywhere but they stop at the hill. But that's why there's 2 F's and there's 2 G's. It's to help the children.
Thank you.
Glenna, I just want to make sure that no animals were harmed in the making of this.
I guarantee I love them all. I pet them every day.
Question back left.
So first I have a suggestion. I've got a 5.5-year-old nephew that I was thinking he'd love this, but then I thought, well, maybe he wouldn't be so excited about the animals. Maybe he'd be more excited about Ninja Turtles or robots or whatever. So I don't know. You could maybe have different template packs with different. This is just a suggestion. But I also have a question. I think it's great that you have moved from a physical product into the digital space, and a lot of people have struggled kind of staying relevant. Can you speak to that a little bit, that journey and some of the struggles you've had adopting technology?
It's not so much been a struggle. The going from the books to the iPad actually was kind of a natural evolution, really. We've all kind of enjoyed playing around with the app. The biggest thing right now is just getting adoption. I know there's been some questions we've been asked elsewhere about, are you going to Android? And there's a whole set of complexities there. Fragmentation being a huge one. But right now, the biggest thing is we want to master the iPad because it's the most dominant, and it's just been a natural evolution. So it really wasn't much of a struggle. I think the biggest struggle is going to be moving from Apple to the Android, and that's not a struggle we're not ready to take yet.
Question in the center.
Hello. So my question is, because I actually have the app and a 4-year-old, where is the explanation of the keys in the app? Or do we have to go to the actual website to get that explanation, like you just gave us with the frogs?
I'll be honest, nobody's ever questioned that. The animals, the only thing I did have a question of the fact, well, they don't match, but if you look at the note reading part, you'll see that or meet the animals, you'll see that the first letter of the animal is highlighted. It's black, it stands out. It's very important to keep that concept there. But no, I hadn't ever thought of putting that there, and if you think it's, important, we'll figure out a way to put it on the app. We can put it in parent information.
And in fact, we're working on a current update right now. So that sort of feedback is extremely helpful so that we can incorporate that into the new update that's coming out.
Okay, we've got a question to your left.
This is a great product. Thank you so much. And I agree that the explanation would be extremely good to have in there. I just want to make a comment also that if you haven't tried homeschool groups, there are thousands and thousands of kids here in the Kansas City area and all around in homeschool groups, and that might be your larger target at this point because they are looking for things like this to work with their children on.
And that is exactly the type of groups I'm working on trying to target. We're just trying to figure out how's the best way to get out and communicate with them.
Got a question in the middle in the back here.
Hi, you have a great app. I have a brother who has autism, so how does this affect kids with special needs and those different ranges?
Special needs kids do extremely well with this. It's been very, very rewarding. I have a young student that has, he's one of a set of quads, and bless his heart, you know, if the other three were gonna do it, he was gonna do it too. And I laughed so much at him the other day. He can play standard music, but I let him work with the beta on the note reading, and that child sat there for 35 minutes with that app, trying to make sure he got all of the tests right and that he was doing it exactly right. It was fantastic. But I teach with autistic kids and all. You have to, the thing with an autistic child is that they have got to have things in an order. They have to understand things. And that's where the fish and the frog have to be really explained to them and explained, well, you know, the fish sits up above. They usually like to get up on a log or something by the water, and the fish has got to be down inside. They have to have, things have to make sense to their minds, or they can't follow things through. They're very ordered. Their lives are very ordered. But they do amazingly with this. I've been working with a child I think is a music savant. He's in high school now, and he writes band music. It's amazing.
Question in the front.
I like your product, but forgive me if I missed this, but if a standard piano is being used, are there clings that go on there or removable labels that you can put on your home piano?
With the standard piano, I have the card, and I put that behind the black keys on a keyboard or on a piano so that the child can look at that and follow it down and get the key. It's really funny with 3-year-olds. They'll sit there and they'll look at that. They'll come down to that animal and they'll follow that key all the way down and boom.
So it helps in the learning. When they
And fingering, what I do with fingering is, you know, a 3-year-old's gonna do this, a 2-year-old's gonna do this, until you tell them that animals really, really like to have their own things, just like we like to have our own things. Can we give them each a finger? And you'll name them dog, you know, cat, dog, elephant, and they'll look at these and elephant. But eventually they go into playing full hand. It doesn't. They get hand fingering very easy.
Okay, and also one more thing on the technology side. I know you just added the app, but have you thought about gamifying that?
No, but that's an excellent suggestion.
We have one more.
I was going to close it up.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you for sharing. I'm sorry, where are you guys from?
Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay, that's
well,
what
actually, we're from Valonia. He is from St. Louis, and Stas is from San Francisco.
Thank you for traveling in today for us. Sorry about all the traffic once again. Our final question for you, you've got a couple hundred people here in the audience cheering you on. What can we as a community do for you?
The biggest issue is promotion. That's the biggest thing that we need, and figuring out, you know, somebody mentioned the homeschoolers, you know, just suggestions on how to reach that audience and promotion. That's the biggest thing, is getting the word out there, because right now we're holding our own, but you know, we'd like to grow it, and the way we're going to grow this is through promotion.
Okay, great. We've got our announcement sheets, has contact information for them, plus they've got a table over on the side with a demo with the products in their books. So let's hear it for Notamals.
Notamals.
Thank you. All right, well, we did it again. We will be back here next Wednesday at 9 a.m. So, what's up? Oh, it's Alumni Day. It's the 1st of July. We'll be bringing back an alumni, hearing what they're up to. So stay tuned and tell your friends. Bring a friend with you next time. So thanks so much for coming out.